News during the early morning hours, U.S. President Joe Biden made a surprise visit to Kyiv, Ukraine during the middle of a war, and it's coming as we've almost reached the one-year mark since that war started.
Yeah, let's head right out to Fox 61's Keith McGilvery. He's in the breaking news center. And Keith, President Biden came with more funding for the war. Is that right?
He did, some significant additional funding. More on that in just a moment, Lauren. And this all really unfolding pretty darn quickly. When I joined you with the breaking news in our 5 a.m. hour, the president just arriving in Kyiv. Now in our 10 o'clock hour, I can tell you he has officially left the capital city. But he did come with A, news of that additional funding, and B, arriving to some significant activity in the capital city. Take a listen. Sirens going off there in the capital of Kyiv. The president making his way to the war-torn country by train. Now, of course, this all following a previously announced visit to Poland. He greeted not only the president, but the first lady with a handshake there. The president continuing to stress U.S. support for Ukraine. He also, to Lauren's point, had announced additional funding, $500 million in aid. And of course, that continues really to be a sharply debated issue in a sharply divided Congress. And to Tim's point, the visit coming almost a year to the day since Russia invaded Ukraine. The 24th will mark 1 year.
Putin's war of conquest is failing. Russia's military has lost half its territory it once occupied. Young, talented Russians are fleeing by the tens of thousands, not wanting to come back to Russia. Not just fleeing from the military, fleeing from Russia itself.
That just a piece of what the president had to say in a joint address to the world with the Ukrainian president 1 year later. Kyiv is standing, says the president, and Ukraine stands, democracy stands, and Americans stand with you as well. Those the words of the president. Now, this president just spending a couple of hours in Ukraine, tied to that previously scheduled trip. We will look for continued information from that visit as the morning progresses. But for now, in the breaking news center this morning, Keith McGilvery, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.